What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? It's David here with Mac Tutorials 14. And so today, Apple pushed iOS 8.1.1, the final version. Now, going through Twitter, it does look like, one, it does, in fact, 100% patch Pangu8. So users are advised, if they want to update to iOS 8 and maintain their jailbreak, that they do so fast. Because iOS 8.1 is still being signed right now, even though probably within the next couple of days, iOS 8.1 will stop being signed. And so then now any new users who want to update to iOS 8.1 or anything higher, any users that are on iOS 7 jailbroken and suddenly decide, hey, I want iOS 8 and all of its features, I want to be jailbroken on iOS 8, and they try to update, they're going to be inevitably forfeiting their jailbreak because they're just going to give their jailbreak over to Apple because, unfortunately, once you upgrade, as of right now, it's possible to actually downgrade because if Apple's still signing the firmware, iTunes will still verify that it is one of the latest softwares and it'll still allow you to downgrade. But once Apple just says, nope, we're going to stop signing it, and then one day just stop signing it, it will no longer work and it won't let you downgrade in iTunes. So I think I've done at least one tutorial on how to downgrade. Basically, if you don't know how to do it, you basically just get the older ISPW file for that firmware. So say you wanted to upgrade to iOS 8.1, so you go on the internet and search, let's say you had an iPhone 5, iOS 8.1 ISPW, and then go ahead and download one for your device. And then once that downloads, you have to plug in your device and hit Option Restore. Well, you could hit Option Check for Update, but if you are jailbreaking, it is recommended that you press Option Restore just because more likely than not, even if the jailbreak is not successful, even if the jailbreak is successful, more likely than not, if you do not restore before updating to a different version of iOS and you jailbreak that iOS, more likely than not, you will encounter a lot of issues and problems, with your device after doing that. So yeah, that's basically all I gotta say. So jailbreakers, stay away from iOS 8.1.1. It does break the jailbreak. The exploits are now patched by Apple in iOS 8.1.1. So if you did accidentally update and you want to know if there's any possible way to get back down, as of right now, as of the recording of this video, this is possible to actually go back down to iOS 8.1. And that's the latest firmware that you can actually go down to. You can't go down to 8.0.2. And if you are on the terrible firmware 8.0.1, I do recommend you guys at least trying to go ahead and take advantage of this and go ahead to update to 8.1 because 8.0.1 had a lot of issues with it. There were some cellular data issues, and there was a lot of bugs. And, of course, a lot of bugs were fixed in iOS 8.1, as well as if you have an iPhone 6 or iPhone 6 Plus, you do get Apple Pay functionality on your device if you are jailbroken on iOS 8.1 or are even on iOS 8.1 without being jailbroken. So I would definitely say now is the time to do so. Definitely if you are holding off on jailbreaking because, I want to make sure Byte SMS is updated, or I want to make sure that OXO 2 or, Apex is fully functional and Classic Lock Screen is fully whatever tweak it is, if you want to be jailbroken on any version of iOS 8, because we don't know at this point, iOS 9 will not be too far down the line. iOS 9 inevitably will be coming in 5 to 6 months. So that means, Apple's going to have to kind of step it up and then release betas and stuff. And before you know it, we're going to have better, less buggier, newer, awesome features that are in iOS 9. Who knows what's going to be in iOS 9? Maybe they'll change up the user interface of iOS. I think that'd kind of be nice. Gave it maybe a little mini facelift. They did so for iOS 7, but it still maintained that same square design, even though they did redesign the way the icons look. The dimensions and the size and the shape of the icons did not change, and they've been the same for the past 7 years throughout each iOS version. So it'd be pretty awesome if they did something kind of like with the Apple Watch user interface, where it's all circular icons. I don't know how that would, it works out kind of well with Eternum, however you want to pronounce that new jailbreak tweak that came out that basically emulates the Apple Watch user interface and basically lets you do that for jailbroken iOS. This is only able to work on iOS 8. It's fully compatible with iOS 8. So again, it's definitely another reason why you want to jailbreak on iOS 8, why you would want to update now. As of all times, do so now. And that's the reason why I am stressing it, because these fantastic iOS 8 exclusive jailbreak tweaks are going to be coming out in the near future. Now, I know not everything's updated. Believe me, I'm still waiting on some of my favorite tweaks to be updated, like OXO 2. Unfortunately, it hasn't been updated yet, but SMS, Aki, a lot of the staple jailbreak tweaks have not been updated yet. Barrel's been updated. Winterboard hasn't received its iOS 8 update yet. Although it is compatible with iOS 8, there are a lot of things that Sarek needs to fix with the new iOS version. So yeah, it's definitely a stable jailbreak, and I would definitely hop on that now if you have not done so already. That is my 100% advice, because down the line, if you do decide that you want to jailbreak iOS 8, and there is not an iOS 8.1.1 jailbreak out, or whatever firmware you're on, whatever firmware is the latest firmware as of whenever it is that you're watching this, then you're just not going to be able to do so, because iOS 8.1 will inevitably stop being signed in another couple of days. Now, it did take a couple of days or maybe like even a week, 5 to 6 days. It took Apple a while to actually stop signing iOS 7.1.2, I believe. So I'm not sure if they're going to be doing the same thing with iOS 8.1. Probably not, just because of the fact that there was a couple of betas of iOS 8, and there was only legitimately one beta of iOS 8.1.1, and that was issued maybe over like a week ago, and about a week ago, yeah. No, anyway, and now it's live. It's live on official device, like it's officially live. You can go on any device, go to Settings, General, and Software Update, and make that update to 8.1.1. But like I said, just don't do it if you are interested in jailbreaking, because inevitably you will be forcing yourself to give up your jailbreak. And who knows, Pangu probably has a lot of things up their sleeve, pertaining to a second iOS 8 jailbreak, because it does say through iOS 8.1.x. So they're probably going to do some of what Evasion used to do, and some of what all the other jailbreaking tools used to do, is kind of sit on some exploits for down the line when it's getting later into the iOS 8 cycle, maybe iOS 8.1.4, 8.1.3, whatever it is, and they're sitting on these exploits and waiting until, it's kind of the end of the iOS 8 cycle, and kind of until iOS 9 is coming around, and then they'll go out and push an update and make it so you can jailbreak that. Or, and this is why I'm saying to do this now, this is why I'm stressing it, you don't know, this could be an iOS 6.1.3, situation. And basically what I mean by that is iOS 6.1.3 got released shortly after 6.1.2, a couple of months after, and 6.1.3 patched the original Evasion jailbreak. The original Evasion jailbreak went from iOS 6.0 through 6.1.2, and then got patched on 6.1.3. So there was not a jailbreak for a really long time, almost a year. There was not a jailbreak for a long time, almost a year, until I Hate Snow and WinOCM came up with POSIXpone, a drama-free, fully untethered for iOS 6.1.3, and later all the way up to 6.1.6. So that's just to say that we really don't know what's going to happen. Apple could issue an update like that, and 8.1.1 could have been that update where inevitably it makes it so it is impossible to create a jailbreak. At least it's not as easy as it used to be to create a jailbreak. And we're going to be waiting for a while until we get a new one. So a lot of people are actually really, really, really blessed, I guess, that, some people updated right when iOS 8 came out and didn't think to downgrade, and they were like, I like it. I don't care. I'm missing them out on my jailbreak. I don't care. And then a couple of days later, they're like, oh, crap, I want my jailbreak back. And it was too late. But thankfully enough, Pangu8 came out not too much long after that. Maybe they said they were working on it like the day that iOS 8 came out. And shortly after that, I'd say a month and a half, maybe even a month and a half, probably a month to a month and a half later, after the release of iOS 8, they came out with Pangu8. So it was probably definitely one of the fastest, jailbreaking tools, even though I guess, if it comes out fast, it's going to get patched fast. And I guess that could be the reason why, Evasion, the Evaders, and, the Chronic Dev team and Red Snow Dev team and whatever, all of the jailbreaking teams in the past have kind of held on to their jailbreaks and kind of said, well, look, it's somewhat ready. We don't want to release it yet because it's not 100% compatible yet. And also, depending on what Apple does, we want this to last through a couple of updates. We don't want this to get patched, within a month or so. We don't want this to get patched. We want this to be around for maybe 2-3 months, and then after that, okay, it's going to get patched. So that's what happened with the original Evasion. It lasted for a long time, as well as Evasion 7 back in this time last year, December, November. We were starting to hear November to December. We were starting to hear a lot more about an iOS 7 jailbreak, and then December 22nd, I believe it was, or maybe it wasn't 22nd, December 22nd or 23rd, the Evaders just randomly dropped Evasion 7 on us. So it could be the same for the Pangu team. Maybe the Pangu team will issue a Pangu 8 update for iOS 8.1.1 and whatever other firmware is out, because Apple seems to be pushing out firmware's a lot faster now. So maybe they'll choose to go that route and actually release an update to the jailbreak tool and use some different exploits in order to jailbreak that and release that for Christmas. Who knows? Definitely a lot of awesome things are coming for the iOS 8 jailbreak. So again, if you are on iOS 7.1 or 7.0.6 or whatever firmware you're on, if you're on a firmware less than 8.1, then I would definitely, as of right now, 100% recommend getting iOS 8.1, because I said again, pretty soon it's not going to be able to be signed anymore. Pretty soon Apple's just going to be like, well, we're not signing that anymore. We released a new firmware. We're not going to let this vulnerability past us, so we're not signing that anymore. So, and because they're going to do that, then if you want to update to iOS 8.1, you won't be able to. The latest thing you're going to be able to update to is iOS 8.1.1. That is the only thing that's the only firmware you'll be able to update to at that point in time when they go ahead and stop signing it. And then you'll be out of luck. Considering what happens, I'm kind of, considering what happened about how Apple released iOS 8.1.1. Not that the Pangu team won't come up with anything to jailbreak 8.1.1, but I don't see anything in the foreseeable future for a little while, at least for a couple of months, probably at least 4 or 5 months before the Pangu team actually goes ahead and makes an update to their jailbreak tool, or whoever it is goes ahead and makes another jailbreak. But by that time, a lot of things will probably change. But like I said, bottom line, please, please, please jailbreak iOS 8.1 if you are on a earlier firmware other than iOS 8.1, even if you're on iOS 8.0 or 8.0.2, 8.0.1, whatever. Even if you aren't on iOS 8.1, but you're still on iOS 8.0, definitely make that jump to update to iOS 8.1, because a lot of bugs are fixed. As well as for iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus users, you get Apple Pay enabled for 8.1, and text message forwarding, and more improved things for Yosemite and handoff, and a bunch of other things. So please make sure that you update to iOS 8.1 if you are jailbroken on anything lower than that and want to update to iOS 8.1. That's completely up to you, though. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. But the question of the day, please leave this in the comment area below, is will you be updating to iOS 8.1, or will you stay on iOS 7.0? Will you update to iOS 8.1 jailbroken, or stay on 7.0 or whatever firmware you're on before that jailbroken? Sorry, I don't know why that came out weird. Anyway, guys, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. More videos coming out soon. And until next time, this is David, signing out. Peace.